Again. I think you're low. No idea. You're up high to the left. Huh? Up to the left. So head lower and to the right. Miss. Alex, lower and to the right. You're up high. Huh. I know. Oh, okay. Load them all up. I bought 4 boxes. But Alex shot a clip too. Huh? I think Alex shot a clip too. Alex. Alex, did you shoot a clip through the AR? No? No.
So I was shooting at 100 yards with the Rock Island 1903 here. My first grouping ended up on the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th shot right here. I adjusted the sights, did another 5-shot group. I ended up adjusting them too far over to the right. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. I put the X's. You really can't tell on there, but put the X's above those. So then I readjusted again, just a little bit further back, and then started putting all the rounds in the center. So I got a couple of low shots there. I don't know, I might have had the sight just a little bit lower than I had planned. It's hard to tell even at just 100 yards. My eyesight sucks, so sometimes it's hard to tell if my front sight post is down here or up a little higher. But I didn't do any elevation adjustments, just windage, and to get a pretty tight group like that with the very first shots I ever shot with this rifle was pretty awesome. So I can't complain about that. I mean, once again, you got a really nice group going here, and that's awesome. So this is a Rock Island 1903, probably produced around 1918 or so. Pretty nice. I mean, when I picked this up, I thought, well, the finish on it's pretty worn. As you can see, maybe you can't really see in the picture, the camera here, but the finish is pretty well worn. It's pretty gone. Even the stock has got quite a few marks in it. There's like a kind of a gouge here, but no cracks in it or nothing. You can see the very faint markings on the other side. Arsenal markings from wherever it was, probably re-arsenal, but I want to say this looks to be probably the original stock, but very accurate. Was rebarreled in 10 of 42. It's got a Springfield Armory barrel on there. You can see that or not, but pretty sweet rifle. It's got an original sling on here. It's even got a pretty decent marking. You can kind of see it on there, Boyd 42. So, and it's in good shape. It's not cracking or anything. There's a little bit of cracking going on back there, but not bad. Some of these slings are pretty well gone at this age, especially with this much use. But again, was probably a rifle used. My guess, I have no idea, I'm not an expert on these, but my guess was probably it was used in the Pacific Theater, re-arsenaled for World War II. Obviously it's late World War I or post World War I production. I'm not sure the serial number, in the 400,000 range. It's not a low number, Rock Island, obviously, at that point, but I want to say it puts it right at around 1918 to 1920, maybe somewhere around there. But so right at the tail end of World War I, but cool rifle, excellent shooting rifle. I am so happy to have this. I've had a Remington 1903, which is obviously World War II production because Remington didn't make them during World War I. And I actually have another Rock Island besides this one, a little nicer shape, but this one has a little more of a history to it, I think, to me. I bought it off an old guy at a gun show and just decided to shoot it this weekend finally, and glad I was able to, and it is awesome. It's going to be a tack driver, so this sight's takes a little bit to get it used to, but when it comes down to it, when you're using it with the sight folded down like that, there's a tiny little notch, and it actually is meant for probably 200 or 300 yards when it's like that. When you have it up though, and you have this little peephole here, you can bring it down to its lowest point, and that's pretty much dead on at 100 yards with this. It is right where you aim is right where it's going to hit, so that's pretty easy to use, and it's a peep sight, so it's kind of nice. Like I said, it's not that tiny little puny notch. It's a small hole, but it works really well. I cannot complain about that. But again, it's got a lot of history to it. It's probably seen a fair amount of action. It looks the part, that's for sure. And I am happy to have it. So there is my Rock Island. And obviously you already saw me shooting. So there you go.